I'm going to make this short and sweet. Everybody that the Panthers needed to lose, lost. Stu is at the game with his mother. 2 points, or Kermit gets it. You ready? Here we go. He did it. I don't believe it.
Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go.
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go.
All right, Panther fans. So how we doing? All right. This is going to be a nice, tight, short introduction because we'll save it for the end, because the end is either going to be fire and brimstone or sunshine and snowflakes. Everybody that the Florida Panthers needed to lose to continue to have a even modicum of a halfway, somewhat, kind of possibly considering decent chance of maybe thinking about the small possibility that they might open up the door a little bit to the shed that encloses the possible playoff positions. Everybody lost. Everybody lost. Everybody's healthy. Bob is on fire. We're at home in the middle of a homestand. You sons of bitches. I don't care if you have to win the game 10-9 in overtime. Don't care how many points Vegas gets. Get 2. Get 2! Or else, Panthers. Big, big, big set of else. Alright, so 1-0 Panthers after 1. Now, if you watched the previous recap, I said that if we lost and we had a 40-shot, 1-goal game and we lost, I was going to set Kermit a flame on fire outside. We've got the goal, and we sure as hell are working on the 40 shots. I think we already had 15 shots or more blocked just in the first period. We're winning this game. We look good. We look good. Since Barkov, Bennett, and Duke are all out there, it fills out the roster. And I'm not saying we look exactly like last season, but we look good. And the question is it going to be too late? Because there's no room for error, you know. Speaking of the previous recap, I did say that if that recap got 100 likes, and whoever left hashtag Manscaped in the comments, I was going to do a drawing to give away the Manscaped Weed Whacker, brand new in the package that I have here, the ear and nose trimmer. I looked yesterday, it had 99 likes. I had a really good laugh, guys. I don't know how you all conspired to stop it at 99 likes, and it sat there for quite some time. But I looked again today, right before I came on, it's at 102 likes. So tomorrow, I will do a short little thing where I'll do a little clip video, and I'll give that away, and then I'll tell you how to get a hold of me. So, all right. Vegas doesn't look exactly really good. This goalie, Hill, he's like 8 foot tall. We've beat him. We beat Lombard, beat him once. Gudis hit the post. We're all over Vegas, but it's just 1 goal, and they're blocking shots, and that is I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, I want a 3-goal cushion with this team because apparently Nick came in on the stream and said they have a lot of third period comebacks. Not interested. Let's move on to the second period. It's 2-1 Panthers after 2, and you would think I'd be happy. When I die, if you all get together and get a tombstone together, I want it to read, single-handedly was responsible for forcing the NHL to have the referees be part of the post-game press conferences and make them culpable and have to answer for the absolute asinine job that they do on a nightly basis. Radko Gudis gets his helmet ripped off, and the referee correctly calls it. Then, after the whistle, they jump him. He leaves his hands down. He is specifically illustrating the fact that he does not want to fight. He's not going to do anything. They basically tackle him, and this little frickin' fruitcake referee that looks like he's wearing lip gloss gives him 2, and it's 4-on-4. Guy doesn't look old enough to be a hair on my ass, let alone like he belongs out there on the ice as an NHL referee. And he's just, you could see the way he was speaking to Gudis. He was clearly full of himself and being as pompous of an ass as possible. And why not? They don't ever have to answer for the garbage calls that they make, no matter what kind of effect it has on the game. Now, luckily, we went 4-on-4, nothing happened, but it could have had a major effect on the game. And on a nightly basis, asinine referees make shit calls like that affect the games, and they don't have to come answer for it. And if I do nothing else in all these years, I just wish I had enough juice, so to speak. I wish we could somehow get this league. I don't understand why they don't have the referees have to answer. None of the sports do, obviously. They're the hidden biggest part to the game, and it just pisses me off when you see these guys who are clearly just full of themselves. Little frickin' rat, little bastard. Move on to the third period. Well, Kermit lives. 2. Oh, that made me dizzy. Ha ha. 2 nice, big, fat. You take the pancakes. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's that time. You take the pancakes. Now, you've already made your pancakes. They're fluffy, and they've got chocolate chips and white macadamia chocolate chips in them. Dark chocolate, not the cheap semi-sweet. You've got the pancakes, okay? This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to have to buy a bunch of pancake syrup. Not the corn syrup, not the high fructose crap, the good stuff. All right? You got to have to get yourself you get a nice round 18-inch in diameter, 4-inch high Tupperware bowl. Go to eBay. They've got them. You fill the entire thing with pancake syrup. Now, you need the 18 inches because you've made your pancakes 12 to 16 inches big. They're almost like pizza cakes, but they're pancakes. You're going to completely submerge them, okay, in the pancake syrup. Let it soak and soak and soak. Then you're going to take it and you cut it 8 pieces. You're going to cut it like a pizza, okay? You're going to cut it into 8 pieces. And you're going to take each piece and you're going to put it on a plate and you're going to put it in the freezer to freeze. So now you've got frozen chocolate pancakes infused with the syrup. Now, we're not done. We're not done, okay? You're going to take out 1 slice at a time. 1 slice at a time. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit complicated, okay? Because you need a bunch of caramel that you're going to melt. You're going to melt some caramel. You're going to put a thin layer of caramel on top of the pancake, on top of 1 slice of the pancake, okay? You're going to take another slice of pancake out, boom, on top. Now you've got the caramel in the middle. Now you're going to take some peanut butter, put it on top of the second pancake, boom, pancake on top, okay? So now you've got pancake, caramel, pancake, peanut butter, pancake, and you just slice it up, boom. Make little sticks, squares, chocolate, peanut butter, pancake, caramel squares. That's what we're calling that. That's, and get some whipped cream. Get some Cool Whip whipped cream, whichever one is your favorite. You can choose. Douse it. Just douse them in it. And that's the 2 points we just got. And this frickin' team won't die. They won't quit. They won't go away. And they are going to do everything humanly possible to make me think for as long as I possibly can that prediction I made about them getting better as the season went on and winning the cup is going to come true. I told you I'd buy back in if they did it again. And they did it again, and 2-1. Now, Goldie done screwed up here, and this is the one problem that we have. I love you, Goldie. I love you. But you have a habit of announcing certain statistics, and then those statistics turn to garbage. Okay? You have a habit, Steve. Steve Goldstein. I love you. Best play-by-play guy in the world. My opinion. Might be hyperbolic still. I think you're great. But stop giving out statistics. After the game, he says the Panthers have gone 4 games in a row now without giving up a third-period goal. So what's happened in the next game? Say it with me. We're going to... Okay? Stop laying out those stats, Steve. We're in a freaking playoff race. Now, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that I was going to be sweating these games out this time of the year for us to even make it to the playoffs, I would have not agreed with you. Okay? But the bottom line is we started this game with there are 6 teams, if you don't count Ottawa, there's 6 teams within 4 points of each other fighting for 2 spots. And now we're going to start winning games. Pittsburgh was losing 4-0. It's tied, and now they're probably going to win in overtime. So Pittsburgh's getting points. Islanders are playing the Sabres. Go Islanders. I know that sounds counterintuitive because we're chasing the Islanders, but we're actually, if you count the games in hand, we're actually chasing the Sabres even more. Even though we still have a game against the Sabres. Just no overtime. That's the biggest thing there. But meanwhile, look, I talked about this on the stream. The top 6, I've seen enough. Barkov with Duke and Luosterainen, Bennett with Tkachuk and Verhaeghe. I've seen enough. We go into next season with that top 6. Luosterainen is absolutely just. I think he's going to turn out to be better than Verhaeghe. And don't call me Cocoa Puffs because I talked about this and I looked at the stats this morning on the podcast. And at this point in his career, Luosterainen is actually trending better than Verhaeghe. Look it up. Verhaeghe, his first year with Tampa, had like 9 goals. And then I think he had 18 in his second year, and that was with us. I believe it was 18. It was 14 or 18. Luosterainen right now is trending, certainly to be a more complete player than Verhaeghe, which that's not a knock on Verhaeghe, but I do believe that our top 6 for next season should be going in pretty well set. Now, if you're going to go out and spend some big buku bucks on a top 6 winger and put Luosterainen with Lundell and Reinhart, I won't cry about it, but that line is working. The line with Barkov, Luosterainen, and Duke is working. I can't see any reason on this planet not to keep those guys together. So, I hope it's not too late. I hope it's not too late because we have 3 lines that can score now. We have a solid 4th line if the coach would ever play it. You know, Stahl and Lomberg don't get a whole lot of ice time out there. Not saying we're going to win the cup. I'm just saying I predicted we were going to get better as the season went on and win the cup. And here we go again with the opportunity. We have to win the 3rd game and the 4th game and the 5th game. And we have to continue to play like this. But if we continue to play like this, like these last 2 games, and we get into the playoffs, I am not afraid of Boston. I am not afraid of Boston. I know they're going to win 60 games. I don't care. I don't care. We match up pretty well against them. We've beaten them twice. Our goaltending is obviously not playing at as an elite level as they are. But President's Trophy don't mean anything to me, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? We've seen what happens to President's Trophy winners. They have a habit of falling off the cliff. I'm just saying, if this team continues to play like this and make the playoffs, I'm not going into this series afraid. Let's put it that way. This team can play with any of the other teams in the NHL when they play like this. Now, I find it interesting that we played the Maurice bump and grind type of style throughout all these games, and we're kind of turning on. This is way more running gun, way more trying to score on transition these last two games than we've seen all year. Obviously, that's a product of Duclair being on the ice, but you can see it when they get the puck on their stick now. They're looking to go. It's not quite as much as last year, but you see these guys looking to go. You see, especially Mahura, Ekblad, Gudis, when they get that puck on their stick, they're looking ahead, just like last year. I like what I'm seeing. I hope it's not too late for this team to at least get into the tournament and roll the dice at what could happen. But seeing how this team looks with Duclair certainly gives me a little bit of hope for next season. Now, in terms of the rest of this week, people were kind of asking what I thought about maybe Bob, because we had the back-to-backs Friday and Saturday. I thought maybe Bob would go both games, but it kind of depended on the workload that we had tonight. I think Bob got enough work tonight. I think you roll Alex Lyon out there on Friday. Now, I know the Blackhawks just beat the Senators, so they're not exactly a complete cakewalk, okay? And you saw the Jackets almost beat Pittsburgh, or they might have won in overtime. It's going on now, so I don't know. But the point is that it's a roll of the dice, because the second game that we play is a much more important game. I believe it's it's Winnipeg. Excuse me. So we play the Blackhawks, and then we play the Jets. You don't want to wear Bob out against Chicago and then have him on low in the tank against the Jets. I think this team should be able to go out there with Alex Lyon on Friday, take care of business against the Blackhawks, put Bob back out there Saturday against the Jets, and then we got 4 days off. We play the 10th, 11th. We don't play again to the 16th. So let Lyon play the game. He's played fine for us, obviously. I trust him. I think the team has enough confidence in him to get the job done. So that's right. That's what I think about that. Great game. Fantastically fun game. I'm glad Stu was there. I'm glad Stu was there to be able to with his mother, and they had a good time in the whole thing. I was not happy with having to have the heart palpitations the whole last half of the game, because we couldn't get that third goal no matter what we did. Power play is still a little bit not as crisp as you'd like to see it. I'd like to see maybe Duke get a shot up there on the top unit. Okay, I know Barkov's kind of got that space right now. It's been better, but we're going to need to be better. Now, the PK has been really, really good. Kachuk took a puck off of his skate, killing off the one penalty. He kind of limped off. He came back. I'm sure he's fine. And, okay. Stu and I will be a little bit late tomorrow. He's got something he has to do in the morning. So we're going to do the video, but it's probably going to be, probably won't be out until maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, unless something changes. Other than that, how can I wrap this up? Because, what was that? Game 64, 65, whatever it is. How many times have I stood here and said, okay, if we just play like this. Now, the only difference between now and any of those times is now we have run out of time in the season to not play like this. So they don't have a choice. There's no room for error. Okay? Because the game's in hand and everything else, maybe we've got 3 games. Maybe there's 6 points that we could miss out on. I mean, you might be able to stretch that to 8, depending on who loses and who we beat and all of that. But the room for error is extraordinarily low. And, you know, we're not going to finish the season on a 20-game win streak. So there's going to be losses in there. And no matter who it's against, it's going to be extremely disappointing. It can't be against Buffalo. Been going over the schedule a lot on the stream. I appreciate everybody who's been joining. We got a lot of new members, a lot of new Patreon people. Really, really appreciate that. We had a good time on the stream tonight. A lot of people came out. There's going to be a little bit of a situation towards the end of the season where we play some of these teams that we're chasing, or by about April 4th, we could be in win or get eliminated territory for a couple of the games, couple of the teams that we play there. So the flip side is if they play like this and finish the end of the season 15-5 and like miss by a point. That's the flip side. But we're going to keep, like Cuban on the stream says, we're going to keep the positive energy. We're going to keep the positive energy. Last thing is, a couple people asked me if I'll be live streaming Cup. Just strap me to the TV when the playoffs come. Even Panthers or no Panthers. Every possible game, as much energy as I have to stream playoff games and all of that, I'm going to be streaming it. So I'll drag Kyle kicking and screaming into the chair, whether he realizes it or not. He's about to get a 2-month course in what it's like to have a full-time job. He's getting a 2-week vacation. He's going to Florida, so I don't feel so bad for him. A couple of weeks he's going. So for a couple of weeks, the streams will be just me. That should be fun. Nobody wants that. So, all right. I just heard a mouse. There's a mouse. I heard him. He's right behind over. Okay, that's nice. Time to end the video. 2 points.